Good morning. Good morning. I'm here. I'm here. Welcome to Sunday morning coffee. Is it 171 this time? Not sure. Something like that. As always, apologies for being a little bit late. The excuse this week, Annie's excuse of the week, is that I was just in bed and then I thought that I could get dressed, get washed, dressed, and dry my hair in 10 minutes, which it turns out takes a bit longer than that. And then my house is currently chaos, so I was trying to navigate. And I hid the tablet when the dodgy fence guy was here, which turned out to be good because he broke into my house. That's another story. So I had to go find it, and if stuff wasn't set up, and I'm back in the kitchen. Whee! What have I got? A bunch of things. Partly. Also, last week I wasn't sure about the hair. It turns out it's because hairdressers never like doing it too crazy. They always do like a slow curl, which isn't really me. So now that I've done the Annie treatment, which is, I like it a lot more now. Actually, like it a lot. To the extent, and also because I'm poor, I won't be dyeing it before Salute, so I'm gonna have brownish hair at Salute. Madness. Yes, and it's floofy. Yeah, when she was blow drying, she said, I won't overdo it because it'll go fluffy then. So that's what I like. So yeah, in very important news, the fluff is back. And did you know, hair tips from Annie, all you do is turn your head upside down and put a diffuser on it like that and then wait. That's why I was typing in the thing going, I won't be long, I won't be long. So yeah, I like this. It very much is like a guinea pig. Sponge the guinea pig particularly, and Moogle, they had that hair. So I like being a human guinea pig. Catching up with the chat. Hey, Joe is here after he got told off last week for being absent. Attendance is not compulsory much. Jill was impressed I could type. Multi-skill. From the catch up in the chat, we've got Carol back, who has got better from COVID. So that's ace. I'm glad you're back, Carol, and not too bad. I hope you don't have any mega long-term effects. It seems to be happening. There is carnage everywhere. Everything is carnage. So today, of course, I've got no notes. There's not many people here. I don't know if it's just you've kind of got bored of me, or it's just a Sunday where you're doing other stuff. That's fine. Yeah, attendance is not compulsory, but absence will be punished. That's pretty much, that could be the strapline for this show. So I've got no notes. I've got Kickstarter to talk about. We've got Kickstarter to talk about. And a bit of Kickstarter, probably. That's why no one's here. Just hang on a moment. There's some avocado strangeness over there, but it's clear. I should just show you all my avocados. Mug of the day is apt. It is, what year is that? 2020 Salute. Get ready to scramble as it salutes. Very soon. So as soon as the Kickstarter finishes, that Kickstarter at 7 p.m. this evening, my brain then goes back into Salute, but also with a small increment of getting those last two community figures designed in Alan, because he started sculpting them. So we'll go into that as well. Yeah, fence burglar. I swear I've been cursed. And again, might have a bit of Kickstarter to talk about. Firstly, I will mention, just before I get back to the excited Kickstarter stuff, if you haven't been around, another of the, God, that is so nice. Look at that. Barely any styling, just on the thing till it's dry. Kickstarter. No. In more serious news, I have missed, of all the days, I think I've been in the office about 3 days during this Kickstarter. Although full days, the rest I've had to go in the evening and then work really late in the evening. So whenever I've made an error or something, it's been me going, I don't know. But 2 of those were vet appointments to take. I was going to say little egg, to take Nini, one of my pigs, who suddenly just got this massive lump and wasn't well. So I took her to the vets. they kind of did the old like garage thing of mm, so I was kind of preparing for the worst anyway. And then Friday, they quoted me. The first day was £280 because also Dave, he's not in the room, so I can't really look at him. Dave and Karen had a couple minor problems. Well, Dave is his eyes slowly falling out. It's not a minor problem, but it's just like, well, it was falling out yesterday. So the three of them had to go in for appointments. So that was £280. Um, and then the estimate was £500 for the next appointment for Nini. And then once she was in, they phoned and said, "Oh, we forgot to add on top the was it the blood test?" So it went, and then I realised that it wasn't 500. I'd rounded it in my head. It was 539, and then the blood test on top was 170. And then they went, "No, we'll probably need to give her oxygen." So the total was £1,150. But um, I whacked up a GoFundMe and I thought, I feel awkward doing it because I've got a Kickstarter on and all this as well. I'm just there going, money everywhere, please. So I kind of posted it once on my little Twitter account. I've got my little personal. It's the Annie. It's at Raging Annie. Posted it there, retweeted it with Squiddo, and just kind of left it. And it was absolutely like, I really, really did not expect that. It's pretty much all been covered by you lot, and it was a mix. Like some of the names in there, I absolutely have no idea who they are. That have donated some chunks, and I guess people just love pigs. And I feel really disingenuous going like, it really did mean a lot. And it's the only way I was able to take her back for that second lot of tests, because it's the end of the month. Kickstarter monies obviously doesn't come in for like another month. And the shop's been really quiet. So my finances, I've been kind of scraping around to pay the rent. And then there's a massive guinea pig bill. And then there's that guilt where I was thinking, I am not able to do the next series of tests because I don't have the money. And you guys did just sorted that, and that was amazing. Unfortunately, so yeah, I would have liked to say, hooray, we've all saved Nini. The tests showed that she was kind of too far. Her organs were just very unpleasant. They showed us some of the X-rays, but so I won't go too downer everyone's Sunday. But she was at the stage where she was then already struggling. She was struggling to come back from the anaesthetic as well. So the only real option was to have her put to sleep, which absolutely sucks. But it meant that with people's help, basically, it meant that we could see that, and otherwise, she would have just degraded in a really horrible sort of way. So it ended up, being extra sad, extra sad about my little pig. But for her, it was a cliche, but it was the best thing for her. So that was a bit of a shock on Friday, because though I'd kind of been prepared, I was kind of expecting there to be a next step, which would be an operation or something. But they said there's the lump, but there was all sorts of other sort of stuff going on. And I thought, no. They said that what they could potentially was like blood transfusions, basically. And like, not for a pig. It just doesn't work. I said, I'm very pig experienced, and I know where the line is, basically. Where it's just not good for anyone, basically. So what was extra knackering on Friday is because Friday evening is prime Friday, like, yeah, tea time to evening, on a payday, is the absolute golden time for releasing things, for sharing things, people seeing things like Kickstarters. So I couldn't have the rest of the day off because I'd already got, like, that was the most important time to be spamming. Hello, Mum. So Mum's here. So we had to get back. Ian from Fenris had helped me, so he was also really upset because they've grown on him as well. Because they do that. They definitely do that. People kind of go, well, they're just little, potatoes. But yeah, they do grow on you without you realising, which they've definitely done to Andy as well. So we had our little ceremony. Andy Andy and Ian helped with my little pig cemetery. But then I had to go straight back to work. So I had to go back and then be like, let's all share Kickstarter again, guys. It's like, oh, I'm gonna look like an absolute psychopath. But I did put a little disclaimer in there and go, I have to. I can't go, well, I'm gonna take the rest of the day off. So I desperately need that Kickstarter to do better. So it's been a roller coaster of a week. Andreas is off. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here as the early crew as well. So we'll see you later. Thanks for that. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. So that's the unfortunate self-employmentness where you've just got to kind of switch from thing to thing. And yeah, it was mad just being like having to go, you guys, right, so we gotta get this thing unlocked now. And I'm like, poor little pig. But yeah, that's what I have to do. So that's why I kind of mentioned that before I then go Kickstarter, guys, because that's again what you gotta do. So the rest of the pigs, I will inform you actually. Yeah, so I put. They recommend you put, if you can, the body in with the rest, so they can have a little sniff and know that they're dead. Basically, rather than I had a friend and now I don't. Am I going to get come for next? Basically, are they coming for me? So they can get a bit stressed. So I'll put in, and Dave had a lovely little groom of her. So Dave, the rest weren't that fussed because they're guinea pigs. Sometimes they're lovely, other times I'm like, you don't have a heart. So Karen wasn't bothered, and Carol was nibbling the shroud. I'd like to think that was her own way, but she was like, oh, shroud. So at least Dave can tell the rest of them that it's okay. So it's very quiet in there now. Dave is now the new loudest because Nini's the loudest pig that starts everyone else off doing all the screaming. And now it's just kind of weirdly quiet. So I'm trying to get Dave to be the loud. He's already the loud drinker, to be fair. So I'm surprised he hasn't done any typing so far. That's pig in mourning. He says, I'm not doing my book today. I'm going to have a day off. Bless them. So yeah, so all is strange in Pig City at the moment. But all is strange everywhere. As I will go on to, should we do next? Kickstarter? Man breaking into my house. Yeah. What else? More coffee. More coffee, I think. Yes, more coffee. Mum is coming in on Monday to start with some more. Well, we've already begun the salute preparations. To do some more salute preparations. There's a big trade order for you to pack Monday, Mum, which is tomorrow. Yes, that big trade order has come through. So one of the Americans having a mega restock. So get Mum to pack that, and that means that that's out the way because that means they won't do another one before salute, so that I can get more things blistered up and counted and all that goodness. So that's really good. So we've got things. I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like I may be on track for salute. Maybe. I'm sure there'll be all sorts of terrible things on the week before, but other than that, I think it's fine. A bunch of people were asking why I wasn't in the Women at Wargaming panel that they've got on, and they did ask me multiple times and increased persistence. But if you're watching this show, you probably have watched more of my other shows, so you understand a bit more about how the industry works and all that sort of stuff. So you'll know that the idea of me leaving my stand at peak time that I've already invested over £1,000 into. But yeah, leaving that for an hour is not happening. It's not happening, and it sounds awful. It sounds like I'm only in it for the money. Like that is the number one, I'm afraid, because I need the money to continue doing the thing and spreading the message. So I just don't think they'd really kind of thought about that. They did offer some strangers to take over the stand while I do it. No, and it's not just standing there. There's a lot of skill in the old sales. That's why I always get you. I think I can just confuse people into buying stuff. That's my sales technique. But no, me leaving my stand to talk about women in wargaming directly hurts women in wargaming, that woman being me. So It is not ideal. It's something I'd potentially do somewhere like Expo where it's a few days and it's less focused, but it's not many hours. All that work that goes into Salute and all that money, it almost feels like a few hours that it's all crammed into. So yeah, there's no way. There is no way. I spoke to a few other traders and went, "Would you take an hour off your stand to talk about whatever it is you do?" They were like, "No, no." So Cleggs is on that. I was picking up your stuff. Yes, get her to mention me. Get to mention me. Do it. So yeah, they have the panels going on, which I think is cool. But yeah, not for me. Not for me. I need a clone. A clone would be good, or a rep. I was thinking I could have a rep and I could just speak through them with like a headpiece, and I could be standing selling things, and then relaying the messages back. That's all I could do. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh, I've made that coffee good this morning. That was a good ratio. I get critiqued for my all milk coffees, but they're so good. So I did painting. I painted yesterday. Whee! Stefan says, "How good is Salute for you generally?" Remember Andy from Heresy saying once it basically keeps them going for the rest of the year. Yeah, it's generally very good. So if you just look at the amount that I spend on it, or like Expo as well, I think Expo's cost me over £2,000 to even get in. So, and I'm very much not going to go if I'm going to break even, because I want to make a lot more than breaking even for all of that effort. So yeah, it's really good. Although it's been things are a bit strange at the moment, but I've got a good feeling that this one will be grand, because the last one was amazing for me, but it sucked for everyone else generally. I think just because I put so much effort into it. I had my balloon arch, and I was kind of, you do get sucked into this thing in the industry, well, any self-employed sort of thing, where you don't sell things, so you get grumpy, and then people see you and you're grumpy. But I just absolutely stapled on, like, apart from the first hour, that didn't happen. But yeah, just like, all the things, Salute. And I think a lot of people did kind of half-ass it, because it was in that weird COVID time where it was like, are things going to happen? Are they not? What are the rules? And a lot of people just went, nope. But since then, people have been saying that shows have been amazing, because there's less of them, or people are just so desperate to get out and spend now. So I'm hoping that Salute will be back to it being like an actual cha-ching. But I've had a lot of disappointments lately, so I'm trying to not get too excited and think, oh, the money I'm going to make at Salute, in case I don't, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks. But we'll see. But yeah, it's worth doing. So yeah, the reason I do these free now, because I just can't, because shows just kill me and don't have that infrastructure at the moment, or help to sort of do shows. So I've got Vatnatak, though it's smaller than Salute, Vatnatak, Salute and Expo. Salute and Expo are massive and mega big deals. So I do those, and then the only reason I keep Vatnatak is because I just really like it. So it's not, even though I said I'd only do the mega shows, Vatnatak for its size is actually really good, for monies and busyness and just general like good feeling. Bye, Katie. And it's easy for me to do. I've got my little space there and stuff, and so that's the only one I've kept, which is sad, because I do see other shows where I'll be there and think, oh, I could have had a stand here. But no, sensibly, it's not for me at the moment, because it's just makes me ill. My body is just broken at the moment, and any slight thing I do seems to set me back. So it's not worth it. Whereas I know I will die after Salute and Expo, but it'll have been financially worth it, which is, the boringness of things. They have to be financially worth it. There's a limit to how much, fun time exposure you can do. So we've got these pigs here. So I've painted. Is it the 40th? It is, I think. Did I move slightly? And that was a good guess there. Yeah. So yeah, I painted yesterday, which was ace. It was the first figure I've painted in ages. So you won't be able to see it properly. I've put some crappy pictures online. They were really crappy pictures. I don't know what was going on with the light last night. It just wasn't having it. But you get the gist. I love them. So it's Zombie Annie. Again, even if I do that, you're not going to see it. The old crap autofocus, no autofocus. It's Zombie Annie and 3 vampires. And I painted them all in 3.5 hours yesterday. So I'm really happy with that because it was, yeah, I was just compared to my pro painters. And I'm like, well, this is crap. I'm like, no, it's actually really nice. I've done them nice, all in the lines, apart from the blood. I do really like them. And I know I'm biased, but they were really fun to paint. They're really nice to paint. I had a bit of confusion over the wings for a bit because I wasn't sure whether. So I painted the red wings on. I thought I don't want to just do them all black, like black bats or something. I thought I had a bit of something to them. So I gave them red wings, and then I was like, wings are the same colour as the skin though, but then if I change the skin, they look too different from guinea pigs. But if I don't have the little like pink bits on their nose and stuff, even though they wouldn't because they're vampire pigs, then they won't have enough contrast and they'll be harder to photograph and all. So I was going, and then I was looking at bats, and I did not realise that I don't know what they're called. They may be a bat expert, but almost like the bat arms where they have those little spiky bits. The bat arms that the bat arm bits are generally the same color as the flesh, so they're lighter than the stretchy skin bits. But they seemed, because I was thinking, well, they're darker, surely those bits. Like, no, it's because you see them silhouetted. So then the skin bit's thin, and then you just see the black silhouette of the little spiny bits. So I changed it to make them all have the same coloured skin on the spiny bits. And it worked, and now they look good, because they looked a bit like they were just kind of stuck on Halloween ones, which I mean would have worked anyway. The flappers, you know, and the little flappy boys. So I was really happy with them in the end. And yeah, for 3 hours, I tend to my rule when I paint things for myself is it has to be done in that session because I never go back to it. So hard for me to do that last 10%. Bombs. So I was going to believe you there, Snow, because I thought you'd know these things. So I thought there's a verified source, and I went, hang on a minute. So yeah, I'm just looking at them now, going, yeah, I like them. What I really like about Zombie Annie is I was very specific in the design, even sending him links to the specific clothes that I wear every day. I've got a uniform, and it stops my brain from having a meltdown when I get dressed. So if you see me, it's generally a denim jacket, a t-shirt. T-shirt can vary, can have a variety of things on it. One of these wraparound skirts, leggings, my boots, socks. So I sent him the exact things. Oh yeah, hair flowers, of course. So I wanted to make sure it was really Annie rather than just a thing called Annie. And though I did have big pigtails, but they've been chopped off. But when you look at the photo, it's spot on. And that originally is Little Egg on there. So it's Little Egg in death fighting the living with me. But Little Egg and Nini looked very similar. So it's a double tribute to the two super special pigs. And yeah, so I tried to paint. There's a bit of skull, I think, bear on the Annie's face, but I didn't sort of line it or make it. I think I should have put a bit of blood there because it looks a bit like she's got Phantom of the Opera mask on, but still looks cool. And yeah, they're nice. And the goal for Bad Squiddo is I want to make figures that are nice to paint. So it passed for me. There was nothing where I went, oh, why is that there? That's when I give up on something, but I didn't. And that was also chatting to a bunch of friends on one of those voice group things, which I found is definitely helping me get stuff done because it's nice, casual. You don't have to chat; you can just lurk. And yeah, and the time passes. It was like, wow, it's been 3.5 hours now. So that was really good. So I'm really happy that I've painted. I posted the actual pictures on the social media, and I love them. And I'm hoping that might push a few people into a little cheeky upgrade, get us those vampires. Obviously going to be using the Vampire Annie myself. How many thousand to unlock Zombie Andy? We do need Zombie Andy for our Walking Dead, don't we? I'll say 12,000, Andy. If it gets to 12,000, we might maybe look at Zombie Andy. But then we need a human Andy, which we don't have either. But yeah, we'll be using these in the Walking Dead, so you'll see her around quite a lot. So I do definitely need to sort that little Phantom of the Opera mask out. I don't think we'll be using vampire pigs. It is a bit off. It is a bit off the Walking Dead. Might paint some other pigs up as zombie pigs. I think he's been doing thing. We've all got snug. Hand wing is what the bit of the species classification. Oh yeah, barms. Definitely barms. Yep, the old barms. Bat arms. Yeah, that means Andy's awake. He's awoken. He's wanting to play some Walking Dead today, but I said I'm probably going to be doing chores and Kickstarter spam in rotation for the whole day, as I can only focus on one thing at once. So my brain has been. What was it? Andy said there's a cartoon called Stressed Eric or something that didn't run very long. I haven't checked it out actually, where the character just gets more and more stressed, and then there's a big like head vein or something. And so it basically went, and that's you. And I've definitely been stressed Eric this week. So I'm on a nice chillish day. But in all the stress trying to be like, I always call it the eye of Sauron, basically. So Annie's eye of Sauron has been fully on getting this Kickstarter better. Meanwhile, there's Fence Man, Boiler Man, the worst superheroes, and double vets and all that. So anything else is just outside of the realm of me being able to cope with. As well as having one major meltdown in the week, which was appalling and awful. So I'm glad that I've recovered fairly quickly. But yeah, that's why I'm going to be a bit chill today. But yeah, it means that Andy has to deal with me absolutely giving up on any sort of housekeeping. And yeah, so today I'm mostly sort of tidying up my abandonment mess. Like you can see it there, the pile of washing up. As well as I've been washing things all week because of the boiler leak. So all the things that got mouldy outside of it and then mouldy in the garden, just everywhere mouldy. So they've just been hanging up. So I kind of run out of clothes myself. The pigs have run out of pig things. So I've just been constantly doing washing up, clothes washing. So. And sort my little planties out as well. Plants, got all the propagations going on. Me looking at them. I tilt the thing, but then it shows you a bit of where I live, and I try to not do that online. Not so much. So I actually haven't really talked about the Kickstarter. See what I did there. Like now you get the Kickstarter attack. What is it on now? I do believe everything's unlocked as of this morning. My hopes and dreams for my Kickstarter have faded throughout the week. Oh my god. So I don't know. I normally expect a big burst on the last day. And it already has, to be fair, in relativity of the other stuff. But not. It's a bit weird. So I'm happy with it. I am happy with it. But it's basically done about half of what I predicted, based on all the other Kickstarters I've done, my research, my graphs, all that stuff. I was like, definitely do a lot more. So that was a bit of a shock. I'm okay with it now because it's just about paid for itself, basically, which is what I'd said before. Like the targets are never the pay for themselves; they're the to get it into production. But it means that they've now profit miniatures, which is like the minimum for a Kickstarter. It's one of the reasons I do Kickstarter, because when you release them standard, it can sometimes take years for miniatures to pay their way back, basically. So it gives it that nice boof. So even if a Kickstarter doesn't do what you wanted it to, it still does better than the first 2 weeks or so if I put it in a shop, and sometimes a lot more than those 2 weeks, because people do what's the word? buy, they do spend more on Kickstarter. So it's definitely not a failure, but it has been, I guess, this is horrible to say, a little disappointing. But not in you, not in you, just in the general. Like, it's got two, I usually figure it out for around 300 backers, and the last few, ignore Tree Pen because he was it was someone else. But it's usually between 300 and 400 backers, and it's 204 at the moment. I'm like, that's weird. And yeah, obviously, the superstition in a Kickstarter when you go, what have I done? Why is it not doing? Is it because I posted that update? Is it because my paint job was terrible and now they don't want it? Have I said something on Twitter that's offended someone? And yeah, and I think Monday was when I slept in, and then it crept up when I was asleep. I was like, oh, maybe if I just sleep and don't do anything, it'll work. So yeah, you'd make yourself insane, but luckily I'm already insane, so that's kind of a little bit more insane. But I have actually been struggling. I'm saying like, "Hooray, insanity!" I have been struggling, and I did manage to miss one of my medications when I was so confused. Well, doing all of the guinea pig medications, and I think that's what led me into that meltdown in the week. So it's been a fun time. But yeah, it may, who knows? It may go up by another 1,000 in the last day. Stranger things have happened. And yeah, that thing when people drop out or lower a Kickstart, and then I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? It's like they've got a bill that's come up, and it's fine. We're like, no, what did I do though? It's going to be about me. So yeah, I don't want to sound negative. The word disappointing is the worst. I am happy with it. And it will help a lot. The annoying thing with Kickstarter is it takes ages for them to give. They like to sit on it for about a month so they can get some nice interest on it before they give it to you, of course. So it feels like that takes forever. So you pay straight away as soon as it's finished, and then they just keep it and they go, "Oh, we're processing it." So even though that's a chunk of cash, I cannot access it for some time. But no, you're never ever obliged to back or anything. And they're really the shares, and that's also what's been a bit frustrating is like on Facebook, the last few posts I've put up, I've had like 20 interactions, and there's 8,000 people, and it's just not showing people the stuff. But then if you do see it, then the algorithm's like, they like this. So when I've been spamming, going, come on, internet, come on, try and get it out there, swimming. It just targets the same people. So if you have seen it, you're then just spammed, and then I'm worrying that people will go, I'm fed up of this being spammed, but I'm back. Like, no, trying to reach. So that's been the biggest frustration is the reach, trying to get people to see it. And it obviously with Twitter, absolutely. Something fell down. There's a poster fell down there. Thought there was a pig escape. And yeah, Twitter's obviously on fire at the moment in the worst way. Not on fire, it's on fire. So just getting people to see it, and then it's really it's easy to get bitter. So I'm like, no, Annie, don't be bitter, because you'll see, the bigger ones launch, and they just, they'll whiz past my target in about a minute. I'm like, what? Because people go, people just don't have money right now. I'm like, they do, because that one is going like crazy, and mine isn't. Did I do the graphics wrong? Did I present it wrong? Are the targets and all this? But no, I've already regretted saying this because I feel like I've kind of bummed everyone out. But no, I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with the miniatures. That's the big thing as well. It's not like I go, oh, they are crap. Actually, I'm really happy to be able to add these to the range. And they're just wicked. And yeah, I know, like, I was shocked when I looked at the stats of how many, I don't know what it is at the moment, how little backers from the EU. Not to make any of you feel guilty, it's not your personal responsibility. I was just shooketh. I know, so what used to happen, Jill, is before they made everyone's profile private, you could see what people had backed. And I used to drive myself absolutely up the wall by someone would drop out, and then I'd click and I'd see what it's like, who have you dumped me for? And I think I think it was the second Kickstarter I did was when the Kingdom Death Mega one launched. And mine just went and everyone I clicked on that had dropped out, I was like, you've gone to that, haven't you? Yes. So it's probably a good thing that I can't look. Um, can't look. Roy community. Um, yeah, there's just like so few people in. Oh, I've got some more fresh backers! Yay! I like it when I get people that have never backed to Kickstarter before. Means that it was good enough that they made an account. Got 4 of them. Yeah. But yeah, it's from so all the countries, and that's the top ones. But yeah, where people come from, there's basically like 5 of you from Europe, um, which is huge. That's possibly where those numbers of kind of, you know, where I'm going, where are people? And obviously it's just really, it sucks buying from the UK if you're in Europe. And I'll definitely never dance around that. Like, nope, I absolutely do not blame you. I've pretty much, in fact, altogether stopped buying anything from Europe, although I stopped buying from America ages ago as well for the same reason, because it's just as soon as, you know, all that goes on top. So like the Americans make way better guinea pig stuff, like the guinea pig fleeces, and you can get like geek guinea pig fleeces, like Pikachus that are turn into little homes and stuff like that for guinea pigs. But and I look at them on Etsy, and I'm like, oh, and then yeah, it's like by the time I add everything in, it's like there's a guy in America selling guinea pig tanks, but they're really well researched and made so that they're actually just nice little shelters for pigs, and they're not just like tormenting them by making them into toys, but they also look really funny. And yeah, it's like by the time I get all that imported, nope. So I absolutely do not blame Europeans for going, nope. But one of the good things about Bad Squiddo, which I do have to keep reminding myself, is our awesome network of shops. So it means that, and I'm glad that if, you know, if this was a Kickstarter purely to get these done and that was it, and they'd never see the light of day again, then it wouldn't have been great. But it's not. So these will go in the shop. They're going to sell for as long as Bad Squiddo is here, which is hopefully a very long time. So they're going to make money like that. The people who don't have money right now, so a few of you have said, like, you know, we're just skin at the moment, you'll be able to get them whenever you like from the shop. And if you're somewhere like Europe and hate buying from the UK, I've got all those European shops that you can buy from once they get hold of it as well. So that's a big relief basically on any of the Kickstarters I do, that will happen. So the surge has been ace. The surge is way better than it would have been. Oh, losing my voice. And that they, once they then get into the world, it'll be a lot easier for people to get them. And I think that's also, like I said last week, another reason maybe why mine don't go as high, because I'm honest about that, instead of, you know, giving the like big FOMO of going, but you'll only be able to get them here. You'll only be able to, so you'll have to get them now. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Because that's, you know, putting myself in that position. If I saw a European Kickstarter that I wanted, but I knew that my local shop will have them in afterwards, it's like, yeah. So that's totally cool. So yeah, that's nice. And some of those retailers take a big amount when they take the fresh ones. So it's almost like I've got X amount pre-sold as soon as they're released. So that's really good. And yeah, I just love them. And it's meant that the figures are able to happen, basically. Because a lot of the time, flat up releases are just really depressing now. And like I said before, like you might not even sell one in the first month when you release something new. It's so bizarre, but you get all the shares and stuff, and people just don't. So for anything bigger, Kickstarter's always better than not. So look at it. I just love it, and yeah, the idea that I've made them happen is just like, so that is wicked. Oh yeah, Daniel needs to unscreen his phone. Not this comment section though. Not this comment. Oh no, what have I missed in the comments? Like no, somewhere else. Yes, that makes sense. Definitely go away from the phone if you're arguing with those, because they won't listen anyway. They're just going to drain your day. So that is a wise choice. They'll just demand more energy off you, and they won't change their mind anyway. So bye. Some Kickstarters do retailer only pledges. Yeah, I tend not to bother because they, I think it works better with things like board games. But Yeah. Flee, Daniel, flee. Or just close the other tabs and stay here. Stay here in the nice place. Yeah, because obviously Kickstarter takes a chunk. It's asking for money from retail. Like when retailers ask me before to back the Kickstarter, I've done it a few times. But I think everyone's got cash flow, so like, why back a thing? Why pay money for a thing now when you can just buy it later, sort of thing? It's an awkward one. So I thought about it, but nah. I also feel like it makes people feel like they're getting a crap deal as well when you see what because obviously retailers and distributors get it at a percentage off. People see that and then they're like, oh, we're being fleeced by paying, this price. Obviously, it's not how it works, but it's a psychological sort of thing. I was pondering just doing it. I think I'm going to do a price of how much all of the unlocks are together as well, because I was going to do that as a bundle, and I thought that's more confusing. It's a bit too late now to sort of do them. I think that's one of the reasons that it might not have gone as big, because I didn't have that all-in pledge from the start, which sometimes I've been able to do, because I really had no idea what we were going to make during the 12 days of Kickstarter. But yeah, I definitely did just focus on the negatives too much then. I am happy with it. It's just been a week. For it, that sort of in the combination, I think, of it not doing what I expected to do. There were some real stale points where it's all go. I was thinking, oh no. Whilst my pets are dying and the man's making his way into my house, the boiler man's kicking the boiler and using swears I've never heard before, and it was just like, ah. But yeah, it'll be almost a relief when it's over, but I do feel sad that it's over because I've enjoyed the allowance to spam it around. I took some beautiful pictures, which is partly what I'm going to be doing today, posting them around. Absolutely beautiful pictures. I got lent some of the Rubble City from Fenris, the painted ones. They're so nice. So also spam plug for them. I think he'll have some at Salute, actually, because he's in the middle of fulfilling the Kickstarter frantically so that he can have them at Salute. So there might be some at Salute. The Rubble Sea is just ace. So it fits perfectly, obviously, because it's all that overgrown ruins where you get Gribblies going through. So I took a few photos of that. A few. I took a lot of stuff. Yeah, so I will be putting those up because they're just really nice pictures. And again, it's like you're just constantly putting all this work, and then everything starts falling down, and just nobody sees it. So yeah, you get that sort of 4 thumbs up. You're like, I spent ages on that. Some validation. Jess says your life is like a bizarre, dark British sitcom. It is. I'm convinced that this is a sitcom. Somebody else asked me that last week when I had some other strange thing happen. I've been on quite an anxiety trip. Just before I forget as well, because I noticed in there, like, well, not the new model army. I got this from Jade, who's our Jade Viking. She's was concerned about all these vampires that I've been hanging around with. So I've got a mini steak and a little garlic there. So if any of the vampires do come for me, I've got it to hand, basically. It'd have to be a very small vampire, but it still, I could do the job. Annie Day's new sitcom. Yeah, it is a sitcom, just the strangest. I have put a sign up, actually, talking of my sitcom day-to-day, The Mystery Pooper. I've put a sign up in my garden now, and there's not been a poo since. But, oh, Vampig! That's it, they'll protect me from my own pigs if they turn. I would not hesitate. I say this to my friends and they think I'm absolutely crazy. I'm like, no, the second you're bitten, gone. No hesitate. I'm not the one going, oh no, but you were my friend in life. I'd be like, no, they're a monster now. So yeah, sorry pigs. As soon as you have got the as soon as you've been vampire bitten, I'm afraid I'll be chucking that on you and stabbing you in the heart. Sorry guys. Sorry. I think they'd appreciate it. It's what they'd want. Small vampire, not small Annie. Yeah, it's true. We got. I like we're writing the Annie sitcom. So more insider info aside, the Kickstarter is ace. It ends at 7 o'clock today. We've unlocked a bunch of things too, including I didn't show the the Vampire Bride I'm really, really happy with. She was a kind of extra as we were going along from Juan, who's sculpted a few of our bits now, slowly making his way in there. It's a little side piece. Also, Shane has been sculpting. Let me show you that. I've posted on Twitter, but I know you're not all on Twitter, and I do not blame you. It's my dream to just not be on any of these social medias. So Shane's finished the second of the freshly bitten. So they're the, you know, the ladies creeping about, going. They're not creeping like that. They're creeping like, going. Is that a strange noise? And then it's like cutscene, and that. Again, you can't fully see, but that's one of them. She's got fangs. So you go like, Maria, are you okay? And then she slowly turns around. You're like, Maria, you seem strange. That sort of thing. That sort of thing. So she's done. So I'll be adding that. I'll be sorting the graphics out in a bit. I did a Kickstarter update from my phone yesterday. I would not recommend. Their user interface is horrific, and on a phone it's even worse. John has painted this absolute stunner, the bounty hunter. Whoa, you can see that on there. I love that that is hand sculpted. It's just a testament to the craft. It's beautiful, and that's the like, even if you're not into vampire stuff, she's just a cool mercenary fighter warrior, which I've been trying to say, because I think vampire stuff's kind of been putting people off. If they're like, well, I don't like vampire stuff. I'm like, but there's all the other ones. Carol, I'm now wondering how female vampires can do their makeup. You know the answer. They've got their little humans or lesser vampires that do it for them. They wouldn't do their own makeup, of course. They've got the team. Mum's got visitors. See you tomorrow, Mum. Bye. Bye, Will. Yeah, they've got their own teams, their own makeup crew, I think. Because I think about that with the zombies and stuff, or like the armies of the dead, where they've all got the same stuff, and if it's the stuff they were wearing in life and you've raised a battlefield, but when they've got their the skulls on and the purple is purple and red, I'm like, yeah, is there like a necromancer that's there like a fashion go, right, we need to look really creepy. Yeah, this unit we're going to go for red, but then we're going to bring the next unit. They're going to be black, but with the highlight of red to tie it in, so we know we're the same. That's a sketch in itself, I think. Igor, fetch my blusher. Yeah, no self-respecting noble does their own 4 layers of lead-based makeup. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot been unlocked. I have extra good news that Paul Muller has popped up this week, because I was trying to get hold of him beforehand and couldn't, and then I'm sure he's seen Joe's ghouls and gone, hang on, other people doing ghouls, and he started making some extra ghouls for me. So we have more ghouls, and more Muller ghouls, which is always good. So he did the vampire mothers, the ones that are a bit controversial because they're eating babies. You can only eat adults, not babies. But they're juicier. Oh no, that's going to be clips out of context. If the context was anything not terrible. So yeah, he's been working on conversion. They're heavily converted. They're almost like brand new sculpts, basically. You wouldn't know they were conversions. He's doing 2 more ghouls, so I've added them on as a last minute stretch goal. One of them's got a good way through, so I'm going to put some pictures up of her. Again, I could show you, but you won't see much. Where is he? Paul. It's got lots of different angles for me. Hang on. Not going to be that clear anyway because it's on my phone. But that one's got a pestle and mortar for cooking all the children, I guess. So that's it in progress. And yeah, terrible view, but you get the idea. So 2 more bonus ghouls at the end. I'm not sure what's going on with the groin area. I think it's like a bit of spine popping out the bottom, but we'll find out. Ghoul horror. People McNuggets. So yeah, having those extra little extras at the end is a bonus. Freshly bitten. Mecha Napoleon and Bagpiper have been unlocked, and I'm going to see how popular they are as a bit of taster, because we might end up doing a separate project with a lot more of those sort of sci-fi Napoleonics. So I'm interested if there's any interest interest in that because it's one of Shane's sort of projects that I'll just be going Mecha Napoleon, Mecha Napoleon. He's a Napoleon, but he's a Robopolian. That sort of thing. That etc. etc. They're gonna because he's in work in progress at the moment, but I think that's gonna look amazing. And yeah, obviously they're more for sci-fi, but they'll fit in as constructs. They can be steam powered, and you do have electricity for Frankenstein's monster and stuff. So you can still have robots basically that Frankenstein, he or her, because we do have Victoria Frankenstein as well. And yeah, I think some of those sculpt pictures don't fully give them justice. Not your fault, Shane. Don't do. Just keep sculpting. Don't rephotograph them. It's more that like yeah, once you see them because they're kind of cut out from different photos and stuff. But once you see stuff together with its mates, and especially when they're painted as well, you really see how amazing they are. So I think after the Kickstarter, when I've got more, because then my last lot's coming to me next week to then get mastered, and then I don't know, I'm way all into the casting grinder, and yeah, then they'll be painted up. I need to break the news to John that there's a lot more to paint. He thinks he's at the end of the list now. Like, nope, that's more. And then there'll be some other people that kind of didn't notice them because they just kind of skim past, work in progress sculpts and stuff like that and go, whoa, since when was that a thing? Right. Yep, yep, yep. Do bones make good bread flour? Do you get a good rise? I'm not going to Google. I was discussing yesterday my dodgy Google history. And with me, I'm definitely going to have a SWAT team at the door in the next episode of Annie, the Annie Show, Annie Days. I was just researching. Oh no, that'd be the end of it. Oh no, not again. So yeah, I don't know about whether bones make good bread flour. I'll let somebody else look that up. Sharp's robots, yes. I'm not reading that out. That's rude. It's rude. So yeah, although I'm preaching to the converted, go check out the Kickstarter. Don't feel guilty if you can't. But definitely have a peep, even more if you kind of just saw it at the start and went, oh yeah, but you haven't seen all of the unlocks like Mecha Napoleon. Going to be spamming the word Mecha Napoleon around the world. If you see me about spamming, likes are almost worthless now, but do it anyway. But if you can just paste the copy paste. I'm not a robot. I'm not Mecha Annie. That's it. Annie's still asleep. She just sent me down because she doesn't have to do the show then. Yeah, if you see me around spamming, just I was about to say just shoot me. Just shoot me. Just put me out of misery. No, just comment and just say, I've backed this, this is great, or I've seen this around, this looks cool. I love Annie's figures. Any of those sort of generics will help bump it around and be very, very useful, especially the forums. Lead Adventure and Daka Daka are getting it today. Carol would like a few regular female Napoleonic figures. Already have Commandante Marina. Yes, 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 yes. Definitely, I would like us to have those too. The next project is going to be World War II though, but it is not impossible. It's on my list of things I'd like to do, especially because I could do a mini project. It doesn't have to be absolutely huge, as you say, just a few of the figures. Actually was photographing there, Marina, around with some of the what was she shooting? I was making her shoot something when I was having a play with them the other night. Who was she shooting? Ghouls? Can't find her now. She was definitely shooting someone. Oh well. There were a lot of photos that I took. She's shooting ghouls. Shooting vampires. Oh, those photos were ace. So I'll be putting them around. It's coming up to the hour. So I know you'll be eager to get off. What other bits do I have to say? Mostly, yeah, just have a little look, see if there's anything. If you need to add some bits to it, it'll help me as well. If you want to raise it up. And yeah, that's it really. So check it out, spam it. Got anything else to show you? No, showing you those. Uh, this is your stream. My world. I woke up in a really bad mood as well because I had a I had a dream, which is what you love hearing. Oh, tell me about the dreams. I dreamt to a Sunday morning coffee, and there were hundreds of people waiting, including some celebrities in there. Um, I was like, wow, this is huge. This is going to be a really important one. And then the celebrities will see how cool I am, and then they'll share it, and then I'll be absolutely um, I'll be famous, and the company will pop off. And I was at Fenris in my dream, and I had my gear, but nothing was working. And then I was using his computer, and that wasn't working. And it was getting for like 11:15, and it's still everything was crashing. And then he had this massive server in the workshop, which he does not have in real life. There's all this, so like the server needs restarting. It's like, no, the snowman needs to learn love, and that will make it work. And dreams just go weird. I woke up like, missed my opportunity, and then I couldn't even post to say that it wasn't going to be on. It was all a disaster. And I woke up like, no. And luckily it was 9:30, so I was fine. I hope I've actually missed it. Fence man, I can't say too much because it'll say about my house, but yeah, the fence man that came to fix it. I left Andy in charge, and he knocked, wasn't heard. Then went to next door, and kind of badged his way there, and then broke into my house to fix the fence without just phoning me because we'd previously chatted, and he had my number, but he didn't. He just went. He knocked. Must have knocked like because our doorbell's very loud to take into account all this stuff. And yeah, then he just went in until Andy got up and went, "Why is there a man here?" Yes, that's the short version. That's the short version. There will be repercussions to this. So it's just another thing, another thing. Right, so yeah, I will be spamming the world, spamity spam, doing some housework, seeing my pigs, giving them extra cuddles. Might give Karen a nice bath because she's a bit manky. Because she's old, so she doesn't move as much, so she just sits in her own pee. So I might give her a shower, a bath. So 10 minutes after I've got her all nice, dry and clean, she can just sit and pee on herself again. Why I oughta. Right, so yeah, I'm hoping the next week's not as mad really. It's a bonus. I always feel like I'm making it up because there are that many things. Talking of making things up, I'm going to take some photos of the receipts just to put on the GoFundMe because I always get worried that someone will think I'm scamming it all. So I'm just going to post just for clarity how much the vet's bills cost as well. So that's a reminder to me as well that I need to post that. I can just see the future in Karen. Or someone comes up and gives you a bit of leaf. So thanks very much for coming along. Thanks for, again, listening to my ramblings and taking it with a pinch of salt as well when I go. It's actually ace, and I'm really, really thankful to everyone who has backed Kickstarter or just gone in the shop and bought some stuff, or just been here, just been around, posting on the things, showing off your stuff online. I like seeing you all in the wild when I'll see one of you in a different group that's painted something, entirely different. I'm like, hey, it's you, yay, like. So that's cool. Right, to the spamathon, the breakfastathon first. Breakfastathon. Bye. Bye. Back the Kickstarter. Like and subscribe. Back the Kickstarter. Bye.